All right, so I want to walk you through something simple. I might do more videos like this in the future if people are interested. This isn't necessarily the target audience for this, but I figured I'd give it a try. So, what I want to show you, what you can see here is the Nintendo seal of quality. It came in different forms in the past, but let's say you want to create uh, your own version of it or something in similar shape. What you would do, the easiest, there's a few ways you can do this, but let's try the first way, which would be basically to get here, you would type in Nintendo seal of quality. That's fairly simple, right? You would find an image and you want to right click and copy that image. Now, what we're using today is Illustrator. If you were to do it, you would, let's say you hadn't already created a document. It doesn't really matter what size you do, but let's say we do web large. Click create, and what that's going to do is start a new document. Now you remember that I copied that Nintendo seal of quality. You can save the images to your computer, but you don't have to. One way you could do it is like I showed you, I right clicked, hit copy image. Make sure it's copy image and not copy link. All right, now I right click and paste it in there. We've got our Nintendo seal of quality. Now for visibility, you don't want to have your image off the canvas when you're finally putting it together, but for visibility reasons, I'll keep it off here. Now, like I said, what I wanted to do was create a graphic with a similar look to it with these edges, the spiky edges. So one way to do that we'll try here is I use the selection tool, click on it. Usually that's the default. Now you want to go down here to the right and click on the image trace button. So I clicked image trace, and then you want to go to high fidelity photo. Okay, so you can already see it kind of changed the look of this Nintendo seal of quality. You can see it kind of looks almost like an oil painting now. I'm not sure the technical reasons for that, but that's what happened when I clicked that. Now, that's not all that's going on. It also traced it. So what you do here is you click on expand. Okay, now you're going to see everything is kind of, there's lines around everything. So what does that mean? That means that's showing where it traced. Now we go to ungroup. I'm going to click on the white outline, click delete. So that kind of gets us part of the way there. And then you would continue deleting all of the unrelated stuff, all this messy junk over here. Highlight, delete. Okay, now we have our seal of quality. So you could put your own text on there. Most amazing graphic design 2026. Of course, you would want to pick a more interesting font than that, but that's just to show you how to do a baseline basic thing. Again, you'd probably want to center it and do some stuff with the fonts. And I encourage people to download all kinds of fonts. The ones that your computer comes with are okay, but there's cooler stuff out there. This isn't necessarily too legible. So let's see, can we do bold? Still not, it's still a cool font, but not the easiest thing. Anyway, let's just, for the sake of saving time here, let's just pick something. I'll just pick something basic, fairly basic, readable. All right, so we've got that font, Bauhaus 93. Now we go over to bottom right here, paragraph, to center it. And then using our guidelines here, we get it centered in the image. All right, so that's how we do that. Now, you might be looking at it, and if you have a very critical eye, which a lot of people have when they're designing stuff, you're going to notice some flaws here. You're going to notice the edges are kind of sloppy, kind of, it looks like somebody drew it by hand, which there's a charm to that. But in this case, we're really going for something more, I don't know, just a little more precise looking. So let's go back into our browser. Okay, now what does that resemble? It kind of resembles a Reese's peanut butter cup. And I didn't just think of that because I love food, although it helps. So I put into Google, I searched Reese's cup top view. And so what I want to do here is if there was one that was really precise, then I would just go ahead and copy that. So the issue here is we don't really have one that's that great looking. So what I did was I went over to Google because I wasn't really sure what to call this. You could call it a circle, but it's obviously these ridged edges. There's more to it. So I searched using the help of Google AI. I searched what shape is a Reese's cup. And by the way, I'm not big on AI. I would recommend use it sparingly. Don't use it to create your graphics. That kills the creativity. But you can use it for answering simple questions like this. So it says that a standard Reese's cup is a round, fluted cup with a flattened dome shape resembling a thick, ridged coin. Okay? Taking some key words from there, fluted is the term they're using for those ridged edges. So what I did was I went into Google image search and searched fluted circle vector. So you go through these lists, you kind of see different things that sort of resemble it. And the one I found that looked the most like it was this right here. Okay. So what we want to do is you can see the image there, but we want to make sure we get the highest quality image we can get. So it looks like this one right here. Let's go back to this page. We'll do a right click, copy image with those four ridged looking things, fluted as they call it. Now we're going to do just like our other one, we're going to paste it in here. And let's take a look at the quality. Let's see what kind of quality we have there. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's the sharpest quality, but let's give this a try. I'm going to click here to crop it. You may be familiar with cropping. It's just cutting out the unnecessary elements of the image. All right, so now we've got our Reese's cup looking thing. It's got a little bit of a different design. It's more soft. It's softer around the edges. You might prefer the spiker, and in that case, you would keep looking. But let's just see how this does. Let's try image trace, low fidelity photo, and that actually makes the edges a lot nicer. Once again, click expand. First, what we want to do, click it and click ungroup. That's very important. Otherwise, you delete the whole thing. Now we click on the white part, click delete, and we have our rounded edges looking Reese's peanut butter cup-ish design. And because it's rounded, it actually lends itself better to the edges not looking sloppy. But again, if you truly hell bent on the spiky, you can go find something like that as well. So we've got our graphic. If you want to make it gold like the other one, you just use the eyedropper tool to pick gold. You can use, you can also do a gradient. Let's say you want to do a gradient gold. If that's the case, we go on our color here. We pick a kind of a brownish color, right? And then make this one, let's see if a yellow, real light yellowish. And it's a lot of just kind of like experimenting with it. But now we've got sort of a faux gold look. And if you want to angle which way the gradient is going, turn it like that. Now, so that's more of a semi-realistic gold. There's more you can do too. You can use the 3D materials tool and then turn it into a 3D object. Okay. So it kind of turned it into like an angled gold coin looking thing. You don't really want it on an angle if you're going to try and add text unless you add it later, but I'm just doing this for the sake of showing you the materials. Now there's something here called gold natural. All right, so now you can see it's kind of got like gold leaf, a gold leaf design. We don't necessarily want it to be in 3D, so a quick little thing we can do is use our print screen button, which in Windows 11 allows you to go right into this copy mode. Now what we're going to do, I copied that. Now we're going to undo out of this. But so we have that there, right? What I'm going to do is paste in that gold that I copied. Okay. Now I'm going to copy this, a second version of that. And what we're going to do, I put it over it, and what we're going to do is something called create a clipping mask. Okay. So I highlighted both of those, the fluted circle and then the gold. We click make clipping mask, and now we've got an even more realistic gold look to it than either of those. It also comes down to personal preference. If you like it, if you don't like it, that's all up to you. Now we go over here, we highlight this original text, copy. Okay. Now we're going to paste, and we've got our award, the most amazing graphic design 2026. So if somebody does a truly amazing design, you can make something like this and print it out and give it to them. All right, but we already did that font on the other one, so let's find a different font here. You can kind of scroll through it and see it in real time as you jump through them. Let's just go with something bold. All right, so we've got that. You can always change the color of it. Let's see what it looks like in white. It might have readability issues. Yeah, if you were to do white, I would say for the outline, pick something like black. Oh, that's white, not black. Okay. You could always do something like that if you wanted to, but for the sake of this, I'm just going to keep it black. All right, and there is your fluted circle graphic design award, created using the method of tracing. You can use that to create all kinds of things. So we had our original one with the kind of sloppy edges, and then we got this one. So that's how you do that.